Today we're going to be going over some of my favorite fragrances that I will be repurchasing for as long as I can. If they're still making these, I'm still going to be wearing them, and I'm going to be buying another bottle as soon as mine starts to get low. And by low, I usually mean a little bit of a dent, because I have a backup bottle addiction. It's kind of bad and not really something that makes a whole lot of sense. I just feel better and sleep better at night when I know that I have a little supply of some of my favorites. I don't do it with everything that I own, of course, but there are a few that I love so much that I have multiple backup bottles of. A lot of those are discontinued, so they're not even going to make it into this video. I'm talking about things that are still in production right now that I will still be purchasing for years to come. So I'm going to link all these down below to discounters so you can purchase these. If you want to try some samples, we're offering those over on my website now as well at the first link down below. Let's get things kicked off with Dior Fahrenheit Le Parfum. It's got bourbon, vanilla, rum, suede, violet leaves. So you still get that original kind of, petrol, slightly watery, gasoline accord and freshness from the original Fahrenheit, but then with a bit of a boozy, warm, vanillic sweetness, which is fantastic. And that definitely sets this one apart from the crowd. And I think it's considerably better than the original. Now, Fahrenheit, or this line, has had some amazing scents over the years. Fahrenheit Cologne, Aqua 32, Absolute, all of those have been discontinued. So the track record for this line is not very good. I think the only one that will never be discontinued is the original. But all of the other flankers, there's a good chance at some point they will go away, and that's a high possibility with this one too. It's a 75 ml Parfum. It's still pretty readily available right now on most discounters for a little bit over $100, so it's pricey, but well worth it. And so as long as I can keep getting my hands on this one, I will continue to wear it, because as far as fall and winter fragrances go, this is a favorite of mine. This is really well done. This is how a flanker should be created, in my opinion. Still kind of going after the original DNA, but with a nice premium twist that makes it worth picking up. We're going to jump over to a niche brand up next, Parfums de Marly. They've got some great hits. This is one of their newer ones that I just love more and more each time I smell it. It's Altair, or Altair, or Altair. It's got praline, vanilla, cardamom. And it just really has this kind of roasted chestnut vanilla gourmand facet to this that just gives it a very pronounced texture. When you smell this off the dry down, I haven't sprayed this in a while, just pulling the cap and smelling it, it does have this kind of this roasted caramelized vanilla chestnut accord going on. Go ahead and open this one up and you get hit with a lot of vanilla, a lot of benzoin, a whole bunch of sweetness all at once. This is very much what is popular and common these days, and so they're capitalizing on this trend right now. But it is very distinct, and I would say that they are good at things like that. They're good at making their fragrances stand out one way or another. Layton kind of has that classic menthol type of smell that you pick up on in the dry down. And this, it just has that caramelized sweetness and that very pronounced texture that I was talking about. You really can't miss it. It's a lot of money. You could get Fragrance World French Avenue Liquid Brun instead, which is about $40. That gets you super close to this if you didn't want to spend this amount of money. Okay, next up we're going to go with Tom Ford Grey Vetiver 100 ml bottle here. This is kind of just the standard size that makes the most sense. These are not affordable by any means, but nowhere near as expensive as the private blends. So mainly what we're focusing on is the vetiver. It's kind of a soapy vetiver with a bit of an earthiness, and vetiver can be used in a whole different variety. And it also depends on what notes are being used alongside with it. If you're getting citruses with it, which ultimately kind of freshens it up, are you getting just some other woods, like cedar wood, which kind of could give it a bit of a stronger, more spicy approach? Are you getting patchouli, which could give it a heavier, darker feeling? It just kind of depends. As I mentioned, this one is of the soapier variety, just like the other Grey Vetivers, which we have an Eau de Toilette, an Eau de Parfum, and now this one, which for me is going to be my go-to and my favorite. With a lot of these parfums, I find them to just make the others not needed as much, really. When it comes down to If you're trying to add this into your collection and you don't have the original yet, and you're standing back and going, okay, which one should I get? Should I get the Eau de Parfum or the Parfum? It makes sense to get the Parfum. You're spending a little bit more up front, but it does have better performance. It does have a better blend overall, and it just makes more sense to just kick in that extra bit of money because it's already an investment anyway, right? You're already spending a lot of money on it. Go a little bit further, get yourself a better product that you're going to be happier with. That's kind of how I view this. It could easily be used as an everyday signature scent, but given the price point, that's probably not what everybody's going to do with it. But still, it's something where if you feel like wearing it, you can wear it. Doesn't matter if it's spring, summer, fall, winter, formal, casual, you can pull this off. And that's the beauty of this. It's not something that's very situationally specific. So really, really nice vetiver scent that I love and will continue to buy. Let's go over to Dior Homme Original. What a fantastic idea. Discontinue the good Dior Homme, release Dior Homme 2020, and then just bring this back. Because that's really what happened in a nutshell. And I'm complaining, but I'm not, because we actually have this. So, this is still a thing you can get, and you don't have to go and hunt down Dior Homme 2011, which is going to be even harder to find than Dior Homme Original. This one is in stock right now, $159. Not cheap, right? But also, at the end of the day, where else are you really getting it? And if you want fresh Dior Homme Intense, essentially that's what this is. I mean, really, you're working backwards there. This came first, Dior Homme Intense came next, and then Dior Homme Parfum, and of course all the other flankers in between, but just kind of working through those ones there that connect with each other. And if you reverse engineer it, this is just a fresh Dior Homme Intense, which everybody knows Dior Homme Intense. And so if sometimes that one feels like it's a bit too heavy, a bit too sweet and rich, but you still want that kind of Dior Homme base, this is it right here. It's not as fresh as Prada L'Homme or really any of the others. It's definitely a standout iris scent that is worth having around. Okay, we're gonna go over to a clone brand up next, although this one is it's more than a clone, right? It's kind of a trend setter a little bit. It's Rasasi Hawas. I will continue to buy this until I can no longer get it. That's how much I absolutely love this stuff. It's super popular. It's gotten a ton of hype, especially here recently, which is a little bit bizarre because there was already a pretty big hype wave for it a while back when Invictus Aqua 2016 was getting popular and then subsequently being discontinued. This one started to get the spotlight because it was actually out first and it was an affordable alternative at the time. And it still is an affordable alternative compared to all of the other Invictus Aquas. You're at anywhere from $40 to $50 for this, maybe $55 is kind of where I'm seeing this. Just depends on where you're shopping and what the deals are going on. It's got plum, apple, ambroxan, watery notes, some other citrus as well, but it's primarily those sweeter, fruity notes with a whole bunch of aquatic notes and a whole bunch of ambroxan, just kind of going into that blue fragrance style, but ultimately something that you can really connect to Invictus Aqua 2016 in particular, or the new Invictus Aqua 2024. If you can get a bottle of 2024 for a good price, definitely do it, but it's going to be a tricky one, so this is just kind of the next best thing. I will always have a bottle of this. I will always wear it heavily in the summertime. I love this stuff. Next up, we got Mustache Eau de Parfum by Rocus. You can get testers with cap. So this is a tester with cap. I just bought it because I decanted out my whole other bottle, my personal one, because people wanted it. And so I said, okay, I offered that one up for grabs, and then now I just had to buy myself a new one. So a brand new bottle, I just got it in. I think it was $39. Tester with cap, which is really nice to see. It came in a just standard cardboard box, nothing flashy. So it was nice to see that because I wasn't for sure, going into it. I was like, I don't know if I made the right choice because I like having caps. And I guess it didn't matter because I had my other cap, but still I was curious about it. And so you can get them with a cap and you could save a good, I don't know, I think it was $5 or $6, $7 or $8 or something like that. I mean, that's worth it to me. But it's the YSL Tuxedo DNA, which is phenomenal. I love this DNA. I love this smell, especially for fall, which is kind of what we're heading into somewhat. This is kind of one of my most worn scents. The new Profondo Parfum, I really like it. To keep it simple, it's a nighttime version of Profondo. And so that's how you view it. If you're wearing Profondo during the daytime to school or work or whatever, and then you've got some sort of event or going out in the evening, spray this on over top, and now you've got something a bit sweeter and more nighttime appropriate. Of course, Profondo works for anything, and pretty much any scent works for any time, day or night, right? But you definitely have ones that are more suitable for one time or the other, and the added sweetness and depth that this one has makes it great for a summer or early fall evening. I mean, it just still has some freshness and some of that Profondo mineral note smell, but then some heavier notes too to kind of back it up. I really like this one a lot. I think some people didn't connect with it as much. Is what it is. It's not going to be a necessary purchase for everybody, but for me, it works well because I like it for evenings. Go over to another niche fragrance here. We have Straight to Heaven by Kilian. Kilian Paris, whatever you want to call it. It's all about the oak and the rum. Woody, boozy, strong, a little bit spicy, peppery, and rich, but ultimately, though, it's very smooth. I don't want to, the cedar wood gives off a bit of a spice, but it's still overwhelmingly heavy and rich and creamy and indulgent. Just truly a work of art. This is one of the best fragrances I've ever smelled. It's a favorite of mine. It doesn't get worn as much because it is a little bit more specific. And there are certain times where this just isn't going to fit, right? And things like this can be something you have to be more in the mood for. Like an Acqua di Gio flanker I can throw on any time of the year for any situation. This is taking a little bit more planning usually, and just ultimately is more of a personal scent anyway, where if I'm going to wear it, I might just be at home and not even leaving the house. And so it's kind of one of those things where I don't view this one like a cologne. I don't view it as something that I would wear to go out. I view this as like just a really cool experience to just enjoy. It sounds weird, but that's just kind of what it is. And so, again, one of the best things I've ever smelled. It's not your usual cologne. But make no mistake, I will always have that stuff around. They're pretty good about offering refills, even in the future. If they were to discontinue like the full presentation bottle, you could still go on and buy a refill. So that's something I will definitely have on hand. And I'm going to end this video with Creed Aventus Cologne. It was kind of off to a rocky start, this one, back when it was first released. And I didn't even really get into it all that much because I tried it from a sample. I think it was that they sent me a sample. They reached out and they sent me a sample, and I did a video on it, and I was being honest in the video, and I didn't, worship the scent, right? I didn't love it. And then they never talked to me again, Creed. They blacklisted me. They sent out like bottles of some other releases and stuff after that. I don't know if it was Viking that came after this. I'm starting to get confused, but they sent out the Aventus limited editions to people. I never heard from them again, so they didn't like my initial review of this. I still like it, okay? It's still not a favorite. I still don't prefer this over regular Aventus. However, I do like the orange, creamy aspect that this one opens up with, and it will still be one that I do keep in my collection forever, undoubtedly. It's one that I really, really enjoy. I just don't think it's one of their best works. I think the irregular Aventus, Green Irish Tweed, and even things like Viking and Silver Mountain Water, I think those are just better as a whole, but I still do like how this one smells. Typically, cologne versions of already successful scents, they're usually never better, right? You can't really improve a DNA with a lighter, fresher cologne version, and that's what this is. That's going to do it for me, guys. Some of my favorite fragrances that I will repurchase for life as long as they still have them and they're still making them. Like I said, for the ones that get to, the imminent threat of discontinuation, I'll be getting backup bottles. But for the most part right now, I'm feeling good about these, and I'm not rushing out and stocking up just yet. Like I said, I will link all these down below if you want to try them, and should have samples of a couple of these in here over up on the website you can check out. decantcenter.com. We offer free samples in every order, free shipping, over $59. And every now and then we're running a big fragrance bundle sweepstakes where every dollar you spend gets you entered to win, which could be up to $4,000 worth like the last one. We're updating our inventory every day, so I understand right now we don't have a ton of offerings. We're working on it. We're going to really expand that, and hopefully by the end of the year we're going to be operating a lot of inventory and giving you guys a ton of options. We've got some of the lowest prices around on decants right now, and even some full bottles, so make sure you go check us out. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.